This is Oklahoma City, 27th most populated city in the US and home to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Located in the heart of Tornado Alley, OK City has experienced tornadoes every month of the year, as well as hail, flash floods, and even the occasional drought. So how on earth did it become one of the most popular non-coastal cities to live in? It turns out, the origin of Oklahoma City is quite possibly one of the strangest and most overlooked stories in American history. And to understand why, we're gonna have to go back to the early 1800s and Native Americans, which, if you're at all familiar with these two terms in the same sentence, you know where this is going. As American settlers began manifesting their destiny westward, the US government forced indigenous peoples into the Great Plains, where they would totally leave them forever. This resettlement became known as the infamous Trail of Tears, much of which led into Oklahoma. Then, in the 1860s, America broke into a civil war over slavery, states' rights. Some of the native tribes in Oklahoma saw this and said, "Hey, we're from the South, and also own slaves. Let's make an alliance with the Confederacy." And then they lost. In a surprise move, the US government punished the natives by forcing them off their land. Wow.
I'm so shocked.
Who could have seen this coming?
They did
that. No. But hey, look on the bright side. Now America has 2 million acres of land to settle. Everyone wins. Actually, no, said President Rutherford B. Hayes. This land still technically belongs to the natives, and we're renaming it the unassigned lands, so no one can settle on it. And David Payne was like, yes, interesting, but what if it wasn't Indian territory? And instead it was my territory. And he organized an army around this idea, later known as the Boomer Parmie, and demanded that the US government open the unassigned lands for settlement. Then he died, and was replaced by William Couch. But 5 years later, the government said, alright, you can settle on the land, but we're gonna make a game out of it. This game had 4 rules. Rule 1, April 22nd, 1889. That's not a rule, but it's when the game will take place. Rule 2, everyone will start at the border of the unassigned lands, and none of y'all can cross until a vague and unassigned signal is given. Rule 3, any place you stake down is officially yours, no questions asked. Rule 4, have fun. Over 100,000 people showed up to participate, and believe it or not, some of them cheated and rushed for the land before noon. Hey, stop that, said the officials, or we're gonna call you things like Sooners, because you started too soon. And then we'll name the college football team after you and cheer it in the stadiums during games. Meanwhile, William Couch and his goons of boomers took the tune of too soon to a whole new tuner. They hid in the bushes and trees within the land, and when the signal went off, they unleashed their plan. They descended for the trees like, this was mine, yes. They had even planned certain roads and were selling valuable land plots to those who flocked to the city. As for the people who actually followed the rules, things got chaotic for them real fast. People were shooting their guns to speed up their horses and would end up shooting each other. Horses died of exhaustion, and wagons frequently broke down. In the end, around 10,000 land rush settlers ended up in what became Oklahoma City, including William Couch and the other boomers. But the chaos didn't stop there. Unlike most cities, which are slowly and carefully developed over time, Oklahoma City was a congealed mess of tents with no specific roads except for those laid out by the boomers. There was no time to plan things like hospitals and town halls. Oh, and they needed a leader. "It should be me," said William Couch, twirling his mustache. "I have the support of all the boomers, and I was here first." "Or," said Kansas lawyer Angelo Scott, "we can hold an election and let the people decide who should lead." "Or," said William Couch, now holding a gun, "we could not do that." So a compromise was reached. Everything north of Main Street would be settled by William Couch and the boomers, and everything south of Main would be settled by Angelo Scott and the other land rush settlers. But they made sure the conjoining of the two looked real ugly, so that Angelo Scott could later say it was the scars of a bloodless conflict, which can still be seen today. So, there you have it. Oklahoma City had one of the most chaotic and unusual origins in American history, and the names Boomer and Sooner are still used in sporting events today. It just goes to show that when you want to start a city, don't do it like this.